In this video, we're going to be going over an XTO low exposure audit. We'll go over how to access the audit online, detail the different requirements and how to complete the online audit before submitting it to NCMS for review. The first thing that we need to do is obtain an NCMS username and password. You should have gotten an email on being set up as an XTO low exposure contractor. I got one pulled up here on the screen. It details a little of who we are and why you're getting this email, but it also provides some instructions on how to complete the online registration process for obtaining a username and password. Once you've completed those steps and have got your login details, we need to get you logged in. The screen that you see right here is our home page, and there are two methods for logging in. Both are located in the top right hand of the page. The first is by clicking the NCMS Online button and entering your details. The second is by clicking the NCMS Online option below. You'll be taken to the NCMS Online login dashboard page. This is where you'll just enter your details to go ahead and get logged in. Once you get logged in, you'll be on the main console page. This is the main landing page that you'll see once you get logged in. Located on the left, you'll see that there's a pending audit due with a More option. Let's go ahead and click that. You will now be on the Client Required Contractor Information page. You can get to this same spot by going to the top toolbar, selecting Client Required, and then View Edit Company Info and Lists. You get to the same spot. Now we won't go over the different aspects of the NCMS website. We have another Welcome to NCMS video that details those. I do encourage you to watch that one if you need some help with navigating through the site. To access the audit, scroll down to the middle of the page to the Audit section. You'll see a View option. Let's go ahead and click that. Once you have, you're going to be on the NCMS Audit Questionnaire page to begin your low XTO exposure audit. Located on the left, you'll see a checklist of items that you will be required to complete. They are information on your company, review of XTO customer guidelines, submission of your company policies that meet said XTO guidelines, the testing protocol set up for your company to again ensure that it meets XTO customer guidelines, the flagging process you have for an employee who have had previous testing violations, information on any subcontractors you may use, and finally a list of supervisors who have completed specific training for XTO. You'll notice in the bottom left there is a blue Start Audit button. Let's go ahead and click that to start the XTO Low Exposure Audit. In this section, we're going to be asking for some basic contact and company information from you. In this first section, for company information contact details, we just need to verify the company name and then get your address, city, state, phone, things of that nature. The company name field is locked and cannot be changed. This is the account name that we have on file for you, and if you feel that this name is incorrect, please contact us to have it changed. We may have some pre-populated information, such as your mailing address and city, state, and this information is generally what's supplied by us by XTO. This specific one looks like I'm missing a phone, federal ID number, my ISN and type of work. Let's go ahead and get a phone number. Get a fake federal ID number in there. And I'm going to go ahead and enter my employer ISN ID number. And for type of work, we don't require something specific, although it does help XTO locate your company if they're searching by a specific type of work that a contractor may perform. I'm just going to go ahead and state that I do general and click out. For contacts, you can provide up to 3. You are only required to have 1. You are provided 1 here for this account setup, but you can change it to whomever that you like. For DOT requirements, you can check, if any, of DOT requirements that apply to your work. You can also leave this section blank. A TPA, or third-party administrator, is any outside company that assists you with your drug and alcohol program. If you have one, you can put it here, or you can simply leave this field blank. Once you have completed the necessary steps, you will notice that above the Save button, there is a section that is telling me that I've completed all necessary steps and that I can click Save to move to the next step. Now let's say that I was to go back over to here and I will remove my type of work and click off. You'll notice that an exclamation mark appears at the top stating that this form is not complete. Let's go ahead, we'll go back to type of work and we'll add in general. And you'll notice that it will change back. You'll just need to make sure that all items within the audit are completed and that down at the bottom it states that you filled out the relevant parts of this audit page and that you can click Save to continue. Let's go ahead and we'll click Save and we'll move into the Customer Guidelines section of the audit. In this section, we're going to provide you a copy of the XTO Customer Guidelines. Located on the left, there is a Word document that you can download. I have a copy of that document pulled up here on the screen. Please note in the section at the top that states areas highlighted in yellow are not applicable to low exposure contractors, and that for examples of such functions, to please refer to Attachment 3. Please take a minute to review these sections to ensure that they are acceptable to you. Once you have completed the necessary review, navigate back to the NCMS website and you will need to acknowledge that you have reviewed such guidelines. Simply check the I acknowledge that our company understands the expectations for maintaining a compliant program in order to work for an NCMS customer. I'll go ahead and click those here. The Terms Acknowledged sections will update, stating and showing that you have accepted and completed this requirement. You will note it says you have filled out all relevant parts of this audit page and can click Save to move to the next step. Let's go ahead and we'll click Save, and we'll go ahead and move over into the Policy section of the audit. For the Policy section, you will need to provide a policy that meets the aforementioned XTO customer guidelines. There are two options listed here. The first is to use the NCMS model template. This template does meet XTO requirements. You can review the template before completing this option by clicking the Click Here option located on the far right. Here, you can review the policy to ensure that it is acceptable. If you choose to use this option and this model plan, you simply need to complete your company name, who within your company that approved the use of this plan, and the date it is effective for your company. Let's go ahead, we'll put in our test company. It'll be approved by me. And the effective date, throw one in. Let's go ahead and click that Create Policy button. You'll notice that the Effective Policy List section has now updated for a copy of this plan. You can also submit your own company policy if you feel that it meets XTO customer guidelines. This is the option for option number 2. An NCMS auditor will review the plan that you submit to ensure that it does meet XTO customer guidelines. If there are any deficiencies with the submitted plan and option number 2, we will note those deficiencies and send the plan back to you for updates. Once you have done either option number 1 or option number 2, you'll notice that it has stated that you have filled out all relevant parts of this audit page, and we can go ahead and click Save and move to the Testing Protocol section. In this Testing Protocol section, you will need to provide information along with the names of the various service agents that will provide you testing services. While testing done is generally non-DOT, XTO does require that it follow DOT guidelines for things such as urine-based testing, utilizing a medical review officer to verify that testing, and use of a DOT-approved lab, to name a few. For the Collection Facility Information section, you need to provide a brief explanation on how your company selects and vets its collection sites. We'll go ahead and just put in some test information over here so we can go ahead and complete this section. In the Laboratory and Medical Review Officer, or MRO section, you will need to provide us the name and contact information for both. To do so, simply click the green plus sign located in the left-hand section. Here, you can enter the requested information on both the lab and MRO. We'll go ahead and just throw in some test information in here so we can get on. Once completed, go ahead and click Add Lab and MRO. You'll notice now that the screen is updated to the information that I just entered. Scrolling on down, next for the alcohol testing information section, you will need to list the alcohol concentrations that have been established for your screening and confirmation levels. We'll go ahead and put 0.02 and 0.04. You will also need to verify that the alcohol testing is done by an evidential breath testing device, EBT, or if it's done by saliva. Please note, if you use the saliva option, you must have access to an EBT within 15 minutes. We'll go ahead and just select EBT here right now. For the drug testing panel, we will need a copy of what drugs and specific screening and cutoff levels are done for your program. You may need to contact your lab or TPA to have a form submitted to us that provides us those levels. Once done, we'll go ahead and navigate over to upload a copy of that letter. Just go ahead, we'll click in this box. Got a test PDF here. We'll go ahead and grab and click open. The page will refresh, and once I scroll down to the section for the uploaded files, you'll notice here that test PDF has been uploaded. Also, you will note it is stated now that I have filled out all relevant parts of this audit page and can click Save to move to the next step. We'll go ahead and click Save, and we'll move into the flagging process. For the flagging process section, you will need to provide information on if your company allows workers to return to duty after a testing violation. While XTO and NCMS do not dictate any disciplinary or employment actions based upon such violations, XTO does consider such testing violations as disqualifying the employee as eligible to perform work on XTO job sites. The flagging process asks if your company allows employees to return to duty after testing violations. Located on the left, there's a drop-down menu for you to select yes or no. If you answer no, you can complete the audit item. Let me go from the select option over on the left-hand side, and I'll select no. If you answer yes, you will need to provide additional information on how your company would flag such employees to ensure that they will not be present on XTO job sites. From the drop-down menu, let me go ahead and click over, and I'm going to select yes. You'll notice on the left-hand side, there's a section where you can provide a brief explanation. I'm just going to go ahead and click this as no, click Save, and we'll move over into the subcontractor section. In the subcontractor section, we are asking if you will be using any subcontractors on XTO job sites. If you choose to use such subs, you will need to ensure that they complete an identical XTO low exposure audit with NCMS. For this section, you will see an option in the middle of the screen asking if you use any subcontractors. Similar to the flagging process, if you answer no, you can go ahead and complete the audit item. If you answer yes, you will see that you need to provide additional information on the subcontractors. The first step would be to add a subcontractor by clicking the green plus sign located on the far left. Let's go ahead and click that. Once you're on the Add a Subcontractor screen, you will see you need to complete some information to go ahead and ask NCMS to review the subcontractor. If the subcontractor already has an active NCMS XTO account, there may be no need for any additional information or audit. However, if the subcontractor is not an active member, NCMS would need to contact them to go ahead and initiate an XTO low exposure audit. For this demonstration, I'm just going to go ahead and answer to this question, no. So I'm going to navigate back up to the top, select yes, and I'm going to change it to no. Since I went ahead and answered no to this, it's going to say I'm complete. I can click save. And then we're going to move over to the next section, which is going to talk about supervisor training. For the supervisor training section, you will need to detail whom within your company has completed two training types. The first training type is a drug and alcohol training that covers reasonable suspicion testing. The second is training on the various aspects of your company drug and alcohol program. Provided is a supervisor training guidelines document, which is located in the middle of the page. I have a copy of it pulled up here on the screen. This document details the various requirements that both these supervisor and program trainings must meet. Once you've reviewed the guidelines document, you need to navigate back to the NCMS website and acknowledge that you understand these requirements. You will then need to ensure that an employee has completed these trainings. Once you have one employee within your company that has completed the two required trainings, you will need to add their name along with these training dates. To manually add this information, simply scroll down the page and click the green plus symbol to go ahead and add a new supervisor. Once here, you can go ahead and add their name, last four of their employee ID, and the dates of which both trainings were completed. Let me go ahead and I'll just add a test supervisor here and some training dates. There is a second option where if you have a large number of supervisors to add, you can import a list from a template. We did discuss the templates and how to import and upload in our Welcome to NCMS training video, so I'm not going to detail the specifics on that part, but it is an option here if you would like. You will notice now, since I have added a supervisor, it is stating that I filled out the relevant parts of this audit page. Let's go ahead, we'll click Save, and we can go ahead and move to the Audit Review section. In this audit review section, you will see that we note that to complete this audit, you need to click the Complete button located in the bottom left. Before I complete this audit, I do want to address how you can communicate with NCMS regarding any questions, comments, or concerns in the audit. Let's go back to the Company Information section so that you can see at the top there is a message center. By clicking Add Message, you will see here that you can type whatever message that you like. You can even attach items and submit it to us for review. While we do encourage that questions about the audit be addressed within the audit, you can also contact us by navigating to the Contact Us page for more contact information. Let's go ahead and we'll navigate back over to the Audit Review section. The Audit Review section provides a section to review any of the submitted items before sending the audit to NCMS for review. If you fail to click this button, the audit will not be submitted to NCMS, so please make sure that you click the Complete button. Once you feel that the audit is ready to submit, simply go ahead and click the Complete button, verify that you are okay with sending it to NCMS, and click OK. Once done, the audit will be sent to NCMS review. You will note here in the middle, it is saying thank you for submission of this audit over to NCMS. At this time, this concludes our walkthrough of the XTO Low Exposure Contractor Audit. Please contact us if you have any questions, comments, or concerns.